Hello, everyone. This is Group 7, and today we'll be presenting our debate on the topic of retrofitting buildings. My name is Brian.
I'm Miles.
My name's Khadija.
My name is Brandon.
And my name is James.
Our assigned position is the con side, and we're going to be arguing against a federal mandate that requires buildings to undergo retrofits to meet modern environmental and energy standards. I'll begin with a neutral introduction to the topic before we move into our arguments. Buildings make up a major share of our energy use in the United States, and many of the older buildings rely on outdated systems for heating, cooling, and electricity. Because of this, governments and organizations have been exploring ways to reduce energy consumption and environmental impact. One approach is retrofitting, which means upgrading an existing building with newer technologies or materials to improve energy efficiency. The proposition in this debate asks whether there should be a federal mandate requiring these retrofits across the country. This involves a range of environmental, economic, technical, social, and ethical considerations. With that background in mind, we'll move into our main arguments.
This argument is about cost. Deep energy retrofits can cost between $40,000 and $80,000 or more for one home. That is a very high price. Many homeowners do not have this kind of money, especially upfront. Because of this, low-income homeowners are affected much more than others. When people are required to upgrade their buildings, many cannot afford it. Some homeowners may need to take on debt. Landlords may raise rent to cover upgrade costs, which hurts tenants. Low-income families and elderly people are impacted the most. This creates financial inequality and places an unfair burden on those with fewer resources. The ACM Code of Ethics says we should protect human well being, act fairly, and avoid causing harm. The SEI Code of Ethics also says professionals should protect the safety and welfare of the public and make decisions based on proper knowledge. A mandate that causes serious financial harm goes against these ethical principles.
Um, uh, for our second point, our argument is that um um our second point that is that a mandate like this is not practical. A one size fits all rule um um uh a one size fit all rule ignores the reality. Energy relies on weather and location, meaning what works in sunny climates won't work everywhere. Furthermore, our current power grid and aging um, infrastructure in areas that are not that developed aren't ready for a um, for a switch. Um, it is um, it is possible to enforce the exact same standard for every building in America. Um, um, so for these practical failures create ethical um, harm. Um, ACM Code 2.9 needs us to build a robust system, meaning that all sources of energy without backup creates a fragile system that endangers public safety and um, that endangers public safety during extreme matters. In addition, in the code of SEI Code 3.01 warns against warns against this. Other mandate forces rushed projects um, to meet deadlines, leading to mistakes and failures rather than safe solutions.
All right, for a third argument, it's safety risks. The overview is that retrofitting often introduces significant safety hazards that are frequently underestimated, and that retrofitting must work within aging structures, outdated documentation, and unknown conditions of materials. So first, we have exposure to hazardous materials. So older buildings commonly contain stuff like asbestos or lead-based paint or mold, and this disturbs the walls and the insulation and the ventilation systems during retrofits, which can release toxic chemicals, which endangers workers and residents. Next, we have structural stability. So, modifying the load-bearing elements, the foundations, or building envelopes can compromise the integrity of the structure. And there's also like some deterioration, like corrosion or fatigue, which might make the building more likelihood to collapse. Then we have the occupant and construction interaction risk. So retrofitting while buildings remain occupied create risks from all the noise, dust, and falling debris, and it can cause like temporary utility shutdowns. And this can be very dangerous to people who are very vulnerable, including children and the elderly. So next we have worker safety challenges. So retrofit projects can often require very confined workspace, and it increases the likelihood of accidents to happen compared to more open construction spaces. So for the ethics, is the ACM Code of Ethics, avoid harm. They want to minimize any physical injury happening. Then we have 1.3, be honest and trustworthy. You want to be like honest and trustworthy about that there will be no potential harm happening to others. Then we have the SEI ethics, 1.05, avoid harm to others. And then it's 2.02, base judgments on well-informed analysis.
So to summarize, for those 3 reasons, for economic inequality, practicality, and also for safety, we choose to support sustainability but oppose the mandate. Society should pursue decarbonization through innovation and incentives, not coercion. And a little bit of insight into what that means is that instead of pushing an agenda onto the people, we should instead try to strive to get the people to do it themselves instead of forcing them to do it. And over here is our bibliography for our sources. And thank you for listening.